This video tutorial is to show you how to make a color accent on any photo. Basically what a color accent is to create your main subject to have all of its color intact, and then whatever's in the background and the foreground to be just black and white, so it brings out your subject more. Now I already have one finished, but this is what the layers look like when it's done, and I'm going to explain a little bit more on how each layers work. I'm going to get rid of these just so you can see how I did it. I am going to keep the layer mask though, because that is one of the most annoying and tedious things to do on certain subjects, especially this subject that I took, just because it's under green grass and leaves and stuff that's hanging over it, so you can see like this stuff right here. It's really in the way, so it's really difficult to just go in there and select it. There's two different ways that you can go in and select it. There's an easy way, and then there's the more precise way but more accurate way. Now the first thing you're probably going to want to do is just ignore this layer right here. This background copy, I'm just going to rename it original, just so you can see how that works. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come down here and you're going to create a mask. Now layer mask is just going to hide whatever you paint black. It's going to show whatever you have white, so that's why it's grayscale over here, black and white. Whatever you use your paintbrush on while you have it selected, not the image, the mask like this, it's going to delete it. So I'll show you how that works here. It's going to delete most of the background here just to get rid of all the junk. I don't want to get rid of all of it because I want to be able to use the next feature that I'll show you here, which is called color selection. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to go to click on the main image, so it's not clicked on, or it's not selecting the actual mask. So if I leave it on the mask and I do this, it's going to mess it up. I'll show you what it does. See, color range, it's messing the whole thing up. So I'm going to hit cancel, click on the image, I'm going to do select color range, and then I'm going to select the green colors, and I'm going to shift click more colors into that, so it can see exactly what it is. Now you don't have to be perfect, but the closer to the one color that you want to get rid of, which is green in this case, you want to get really close, but not too close to the colors that are in your subject, like black and orange. I don't want to get rid of the black stripes. I don't want to get rid of the whiteness in his face. I don't want to get rid of the greenness in his eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the fuzziness down a little bit here, or you can raise it up. But when you raise it up, you can see the black lines in his fur coat. So I'm going to want to bring it back down and make sure that all of his body is all black, because it's going to be keeping that image back there. So I'm going to hit OK. Okay, I'm just going to leave the range there. I'm going to hit OK. Now it's going to auto select everything that looks to the colors that I told it to. Now one problem with this though is that sometimes it'll get colors within your subject. Doesn't look too bad right now because I'm selecting usually where it gets really bad. So I'm just gonna brush over actually here. I'm gonna go back to the mask here, and I'm gonna brush over everything that it's selected. Now you can see, like I said, yep, there you go. His rear end is kind of disappearing there, so that's not a good thing. Get rid of all the green up here though. Yep. So some of it you might have to retouch to make it come back. I'm going to use a bigger brush and just get rid of all of it, and I'll show you what I mean. So deselect, go back to the eraser. Now I'm erasing the black of the mask, so it's actually bringing the picture back to its original form. I'm going to zoom in on him, and I'm going to erase the parts that don't look right. I'm going to use a normal thing here. I'm going to make an outline of it, because I don't want to get the green grass in there again. So that's the point of getting rid of it. So that's kind of how you use this. You can fine tune it if you really want to. There still is some green in there. You can't really get rid of it. If you really want to be detailed, you can go in with the patch tool and you can kind of morph that green color out of there. Not really needed though, because you can't really tell when you have a normal size picture of it. But you do want to make sure that you get all the colors back, like the blacks, colors that aren't what's basically orange and black for this one. Like his head kind of disappeared here, so I gotta bring it back. So nice thing about the mask though is that you're not deleting the image. So if you goof up, you can go back and it doesn't ruin the image or anything. Yep, there goes his eyeball. So there's his eyeball back. That's the funny thing, because sometimes when you take pictures, light bounces off stuff, and that's how that works. So sometimes you have to brush it back into itself. You gotta actually look at it. You can't just have it automatically done with one little button. The only way to do that is if your camera takes pictures with color accent, which not all of them do. And I'm gonna pretend that I did all this, because sometimes it does take a while to do it. But that's what you get after. You do get a lot of good things out of it when you do it though. Okay, I'm gonna bring his eyeball back because it got deleted. There we go. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I could actually delete this too. But that's how you do that part. And to be able to get the black and white background back there, I basically just created a new layer. I'm gonna skip all this because it's gonna take a little while here. So what I did is I just made an exact duplicate of this layer here. And then the copy, I'm gonna erase the layer mask. And I'm going to delete it because it's going to ask me if I want to apply it first, and I don't want to do that because I want to keep the image intact. I'm going to put the copy underneath. And then what I'm going to do next is image, and then adjustments, and then black and white. And if you have Windows, you can just push Alt Shift Control B, and it makes that layer only black and white. So it's not going to get rid of everything in your picture like certain modes will. And that's how you make a color accent. Now some things I like to do is I like to adjust the levels of the black and white layer just to make it even stand out even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add layers, and it's going to be in between the original and the black and white because I don't want it changed on the original copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on layers, or the levels, and going to make it a little bit darker. So you can tell that it's going to bring out that picture. Now this is obviously too much, but it's just showing you what it does. Just gives it more contrast and it looks a lot better. And then from there you can save it definitely as a high resolution image because you want the detail of all that green out of there. And that's how you make a color accent